All right. So Thomas Wimes here again with Josephine Barbarino, and Josephine had just explained her health ordeal and how she stumbled on the ketogenic diet and how that essentially improved all of her problems. But that's not where the story ends. The story continues because Josephine is Josephine and does big things and thinks big, as I have come to learn. So you decided to essentially, the architect that you are, to start educating doctors. And how did that go so far?
Yeah, it really sounds a little strange. Since I noticed that my doctor didn't have any idea, and then of course I started to talk to other doctors, and I found out that insulin resistance, which is basically the core of the metabolic diseases, or the start, and it's not taught in medical school in the depths that it deserves, because there is no medication against it currently. Yeah. So this is what I just found out, and I found out that doctors don't learn anything about nutrition in their studies, or if 2 hours maybe or something like this.
I'm guilty myself because, I teach undergrad students, pre-med students in the US, where they should really learn something about nutrition, and we don't have a single nutrition class, so I'm guilty.
Yeah, but it's the system as well.
Right.
One has to admit,
Right.
it's not the fault of you as teachers,
Right.
it's not the fault of the single medical student or the physician who doesn't know. So I really like to make this very clear. I think it's the system which is a bit awkward at times and very orientated on pharmaceuticals and nutrition companies.
Right.
And our wrong guidelines on what we should eat. And so I think this was what I found out, and I thought, what can I do? As you can tell, I'm already old. So I thought I will be 70 next year. So I thought if I start studying now medicine, first of all, I don't learn what I want to learn. And secondly, when I'm ready, I might be able to help 3 patients.
Right.
So, and I wanted to get the word out about this amazing journey that I had. And so I was thinking, how can I reach medical professionals? How is this done? How are they educated? Because what most people don't know, all physicians have to learn their whole life long. They have to do certain amount of continuous medical education, even if they study, and even if they are specialists already in many.
And even if they don't want to, they still have to, right?
They have to.
Right.
And so there is a certification, it's called CME, Continuous Medical Education, which all doctors have to do a certain amount in a certain amount of time. It's a little different in every country, but basically it's the same all over the world. Which is, I think, very nice to know for us patients that doctors continually have to learn.
I agree. Right.
But a bit of a problem of our system is also that these CME conferences where doctors go, they are most times financed by the pharmaceutical companies because they have a lot of money. So the education that the doctors get is mostly on products, which is logical for. And I really have to say I'm not against pharmaceuticals, not at all. I think it's fantastic what was developed and what we can do. How much we can do and how much we can help. And of course insulin isn't something bad. Type 1s need it, otherwise they couldn't survive. So I'm not against insulin. Totally. I have to make this very clear. So, but I thought, what can I do to change the situation? And so I had the idea to organize a conference, a CME certified conference for medical professionals, which also include dietitians and nutritionists,
Right.
which is necessary, of course, if we talk about a nutritional therapy.
Right.
We need them on board as well. And so I found a very beautiful place, which isn't far away from here. Another nice historic hotel. And I organized in 2019. So even in this beauty we have motorcycles. But normally it's very quiet and peaceful here.
Right.
So we organized in 2019 the first medical conference. It was CME certified with 36 CME credits, which was already sensational for a conference only on nutrition.
So how many credits does a doctor have to take? CME credits does a doctor need per year?
So in Switzerland, it's 50 CME credits, and I think the Swiss system is very beautiful, because what they say is that you have to have 25 CME credits in your specialty. So you, as a nephrologist, has to do 25 hours nephrology education. But then they really very much like if you also take another subject. So the rest of which we don't have in Germany. In Germany we have 5 years with 250, but it doesn't matter what you learn.
I see. Okay.
So
How about
everywhere it's a little different.
Right. Good. Maybe let's show everyone real quick the lake again. So we've just walked along it. Beautiful lake and mountains. Yeah, it's an amazing place.
It's an amazing place.
Should we turn around?
Yes, maybe.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So doctors need CME continuing medical education credits, depending on the country you're in. Maybe like 50 or so, and they get them offered frequently from the pharmaceutical industry.
In newspaper, they could read medical papers or journals or go to conferences.
Right. Okay. And it makes sense if you want to reach doctors to offer CME credits, information and education. And that's what you've done. That's what you're working on right now.
Yes. This was my idea. How can I attract doctors to come to a conference on nutritional therapy where they have no idea what it is, why we use it, what's happening, and so on and so on. So I thought CME credits are crucial. And we have a similar thing, which is CPD credits, this continuous professional development, which every health professional can take.
Right.
So dietitians, nutritionists.
Right. Okay.
And so the first conference that I created, 2019, was a 5-day medical conference. Very ambitious.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to cover the major themes of NCD. So it's non-communicable diseases.
Right.
This is the cause of, so in the year, the WHO just found the newest numbers, so 42 million people die from NCD, so not like COVID, which is communicable, but like heart attack, like cancer, like diabetes, like dementia, kidney disease, of course, sorry. Yeah. That's also on the highway to hell, as I call it. And and so I wanted to create a conference that is actually based on one of my favorite studies that I found when I was starting to read about this, and it's by Gerald M. Reven. He made this, I think it's 21 or 22 years ago, and it was called Insulin Resistance, something like in relationship to age related disease. in this time one was calling it age-related disease.
I see.
Now we call it NCD. Because
And
we know
it
it's not age-related.
Exactly right. The young people, young kids, you know, that already have diabetes, they're
Yeah.
obese. Yeah. Okay.
And so, and so I built this conference on the way so he could show that with raising insulin resistance, you develop all of these diseases.
Right. Of course.
And it's a beautiful picture, and since I'm an architect, I was drawn to this picture. And now what I do at the conference, we start with neurological disturbances in childhood. So the first half day is neurology.
Okay.
Then we switch, the second day is always on insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease. Then the third day is always cancer.
Right.
Then diabetes, type 1, type 2.
Okay.
And related diseases. So next, at the next conference, Thomas will lecture about polycystic kidney disease.
Yeah.
And then we continue on the last half day, which is again neurology, neurodegenerative like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and related things. And now, of course, the development in the last years, which is just fantastic, that we found out that ketogenic metabolic therapies are so very helpful in now it doesn't come to my mind. In neurological diseases like depression
Mental
and
health.
bipolar. No,
bipolar.
sorry.
Okay, yes.
Sorry. In bipolar disease, it's really, really a powerful medical tool.
Oh, yes.
And so we also have this on our conference, this topic.
Okay. So that's a conference that you're planning on holding every year, right?
Yes.
And the last ones and the next one will be in Burgund in Switzerland.
And
so that's already planned out and people can sign up for it?
Yes,
currently?
already.
Right.
We have for next June, it's always the Keto Life Conference in Switzerland is always in the
June.
beginning of June, so the second week of June.
Okay.
This year it will be, or next year it will be from 12th to 16th of June.
Okay. And if people want to sign up, they just go to the Keto Life website and find the button that says
they find
register
the button
here.
or they go on keto-life-2023 .eventbrite.ch.
Wow.
You can put it on
a
the
short thing and make it long.
I know.
All right.
Anyhow.
Okay, good. Perfect. But in addition to the annual conference, you're also working on something, and
Very exciting.
I'm not sure if that's still clandestine and cannot be talked about, or is there
some
already
parts
a
we
teaser?
have to. No, we. So everything developed so fantastically. My idea and a lot of scientists that I invited for the first conference, they've been just blown away by the idea that we want to educate medical professionals. And so at this first conference, we founded the European Keto Life Center, which is a non-profit organization. And we're not only non-profit here in Europe, but also in America and the US. And we are just collecting the science on ketogenic metabolic therapies. We also call it like this and not ketogenic diet because we want to emphasize that we are using this therapy, this very powerful therapy, as a medical tool.
And it's also more of a lifestyle than just a diet, right? It's not that you just cook something and eat it, you know. It's
or that it goes away after you do it for
exactly,
3 months or something like this. There are some exemptions, like sometimes with epilepsy, if you have childhood epilepsy, you will be on a ketogenic diet maybe for some years and then you can wane off.
Right.
But this is different with every disease.
Good.
And this is what I found so fascinating as well. And another thing that I also found out is that in medical studies, the very, very important topic of the whole incredible machinery that each one of us has in our body. We have a chemical factory in our body, and everything that I put in here makes a fantastic, incredible pathway, metabolic pathway to fuel the energy for all our organs to work. Our heart beating all the time, day and night, and all these fantastic things. And this wonderful machinery, this body, is trying also to back up all the time. So if you do something wrong, then it tries to correct it. It tries to make it better. And so when I found this out, I was so fascinated. And then I had to find out that in the medical studies, it's also that young students, they learn this biochemistry. Of course they learn it. I have to learn it as a physician. But they don't learn it in the relationship to the start of diseases. Or they just learn it as a biochemical block.
Unfortunately, you're right, I think. Yes, all right.
And this is also what we would like to change.
Right.
So we want to educate or inform, let's say inform, with our about the safe use, about always the scientific new developments for ketogenic diet. But also we like to start again the medical professionals to inform them how this incredible biochemistry in your body or in everyone's body is related to the start of diseases.
And all of this will happen right there, right?
Yeah, we now start with our first program, and this will be a tryout program. So this is next to our conferences that are already ongoing. But we want to establish a possibility for doctors, physicians, and medical healthcare professionals like nurses or caretaking personnel. We want to give the possibility to them to learn about ketogenic metabolic therapies with patients. So what we want to do and establish now, and therefore Thomas is here now, and a lot of other fantastic experts and scientists for ketogenic therapies now met with me here in this beautiful surrounding, because in March we will start our first program. It's a tryout at this time, but with all the experts that we are having, fantastic people like David Unwin, I think he's known by most, he's a GP who really did the most type 2 remission cases, I think, up to now, and many others. But anyhow, so what we so you can see the beautiful hotel again in our background, and we want to meet there for a week in March, end of March. And so we will start on a Wednesday for dietitians, nutritionists, nurses, whoever is interested to learn something about it. And then on Friday afternoon, we invite physicians and hopefully maybe even their patients, maybe they bring their patients along, but also patients who are pre-diabetic, who want to stop the journey to deteriorate.
So if anyone watching is a physician or a dietitian or a nutritionist or a patient, and you want to be there in
and
March,
walk around in
and
this
walk around,
wonderful
just
scenery.
and that will be in March 2023. You can actually apply and sign up for it, and it costs money, does it?
Yeah, we don't know exactly yet how much, but we will publish this very soon. We just developed this week, when we in this expert week we just met, we just developed the program. So we had nephrologists there, we had type 1 diabetes specialists, we had dietitians here at the wonderful Best Sumpek, Kenya, and
the best of the best, I would say, really.
So, and also Jessiana Sell,
Yes,
which you probably
of
know
course.
is this program.
Yes, walking.
And
Right.
we are just building this program this week, and now we will develop how much it would cost. So
Great.
staying at the hotel, being part of the program, and we also will publish on our website how far your diabetes is already, what medications should include you, not things like this.
Okay, great. And it's the Keto, which website is it? The European Keto Life Project? No, the other one.
So we will just, unfortunately,
Okay.
at the time we have two
Right.
websites. We are currently making them into
Merging
one.
them, right.
But at the moment, our actually website is the European KetoLifeCenter.com website, where you find everything actual.
Right.
I think within a month we will have the Keto Life
Perfect. Okay.
website
We'll
as
put
well.
a
But
link. Put a link down there, and if there's a new website, a new web address coming up, I will try to update it.
I will also give you our email.
Right.
So everybody
Sure.
who's interested can email me,
Right.
and I will get back.
Sounds great. And of course, contact me anytime. I can forward things and so on. So I think it's it's a pioneering effort, and
Hopefully.
at the beginning of the event here, I think I said something like, I'm thinking in 10 years from now, people will look back as a key, this being a key moment in
Cool.
the history of medical therapy. So greatly looking forward to more news to come. And thank you so much, Josephine, for explaining all this.
Thank you very much for coming to this event, to working with me on the program. I think it's fantastic that we can internationally put all the scientists and the working physicians together to put this really important tool and message for better health, longer healthy lifespan, together for patients and for doctors.
Good.
Because doctors will love it.
They will. Excellent. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See you here.